Hey everybody, I'm Chris Naugle. And I'm Chris Naugle too. Hey, don't forget about me. Hey, imagine if we could have 5 versions of ourselves. I mean, somebody's got to do the dirty work, right? Oh, life would be so easy. Today, I'm going to address a problem that all you business owners and soon-to-be business owners wish you knew how to solve. That is the need for more time to get all that done. Unfortunately, we can't actually clone ourselves, but there is an alternative. It just takes some sacrifice, some humility, and leadership. But before we dive in, I want to make sure that you like this channel. And while you're at it, make sure you subscribe by clicking that little button down below, and also smash the bell so that you're notified every time I put out new content. So let's talk about delegation. It isn't easy at first. We all like to have control, but delegation is one of those essential keys to running a successful business. Delegation unlocks productivity, scalability, and work-life balance, if you can figure that work-life balance thing out. One of the biggest realizations that I personally had on my journey is understanding the power of delegation. You see, many of us are conditioned to do everything ourselves, as if we're the only ones that can do it. We think that that's the most efficient way and the cheapest way. But in reality, this can lead to burnout and it will limit your productivity. So when you delegate, you essentially multiply yourself and you multiply your time. This also allows us to scale our businesses and effectively achieve the things that we need and the much needed balance between work and personal life. It's all about working harder, right? No. It's about working smarter. You've heard that before. But you got to recognize that you can't do it all. And you got to strategically invest your time and your energy in a way that gets you the desired results. Admitting that you can't do everything yourself, now that's the strength you need. Now, the admitting part, that's the hard part. But you got to admit that you can't do everything. That's a sign of strength. It's not a sign of weakness. In fact, it's a critical part of strategic thinking. So as an entrepreneur, you must constantly evaluate where you're investing your time and your energy, almost every day. Just like we do with financial investments, we want the highest return, right? You want the best return on your money. So ask yourself this: what are you doing right now? And is it the best use of your time? And is it the best use of your time to get you the desired result and ROI you want? And if it's not, delegate it. Concentrate on those high-value tasks that only you can do. When I started doing this, I like to say I started working on the business, not in the business. That was a form of delegating. And delegating the tasks and the responsibilities frees up the time for high-impact activities. There's a huge misconception that delegation is just about offloading work, like pushing it here and there, but that's not the case. Delegation is about freeing up your most valuable time so that you can focus on the things that pay you the most and drive growth. That means tasks like strategizing, creating new business opportunities or new businesses, and building relationships. That's a great use of your time. So when we let go of the minutia that consumes all of our day and our time, that's when we make significant strides in the key areas, not the wasteful areas, but the key areas that ultimately shape our success. So what you need to do is you got to delegate to individuals whose strength matches the specific role. Now, delegation is not all about dumping tasks on whoever's available or whoever you think is available and can do that. You see, effective delegation involves matching tasks with the people that want and need to do that particular task. And you should do that based on their strengths, their experience, and what they like to do. Remember, every single person has unique abilities and talents. It's when we tap into those and we assign the roles that align with that person's unique abilities, that's when we see increased efficiency. The other thing that happens is we empower our team members. We put them in a position of strength, not a position of weakness. They feel valued, they're able to do their best work, and it fosters a culture of trust and growth. So delegate strategically and cultivate an environment where everybody shines. That's called culture. So if you're an entrepreneur, or I just want you to imagine that you're a business owner, one of the things you're gonna have to get used to is handling all the tasks of a business owner. You got sales, operations, marketing, R&D. You got so many different things, and I only hit a few. All of those things fall on your shoulders. And that can become incredibly stressful. Not only stressful, it can bog you down because you don't know where to focus your time. You know all the stuff's got to get done, but where do you put your time every day? One of two things happens. Either one, you can't handle it anymore and you leave the business and find somewhere else. Maybe you even go back to working the 9 to 5. Or number two, you get so stressed out every day that you end up working 7 days a week, you're working 12 hours a day, you're not seeing your family, then eventually the stress leads to illness and maybe even disease, and you're just not living your best life. But if we can take just a simple tip from a man named Henry Ford in his assembly line process, what he figured out is that he would take his business and structure it out so that each division, each thing that was done on a car through that assembly line had a position. And he would find the people that best fit that particular thing. They didn't have to focus on anything else. All they did is put a steering wheel on. Maybe they were really good at putting the tires on the wheels. Maybe they were really good at assembling the engine. It didn't matter. Everybody had their role and they focused on that role, their strength. That's why Henry Ford's assembly line revolutionized all manufacturing, not just car manufacturing. Back in the day, it allowed him to produce more cars than anyone else. No one had ever thought like this because prior to that, everybody was just a master of everything, not a master of a trade. But when he broke it down to sales, marketing, had admin, accounting, he had a row of buttons on his desk. When he needed somebody, he knew who the expert was, so he just pushed the button and he had the answers he needed. Matter of fact, it goes even further. When he was brought to court by his family members to basically them telling him he wasn't smart enough to run this company, he made a really good point. After all of this time in court and getting bashed because he had a 5th grade education, he wasn't smart enough to run Ford Motor Company, he said, I'm going to tell you something about what smart is. Smart is understanding you're not good at everything. Smart is understanding that you need to find people smarter than you to do the things that your business needs, which is exactly what he did. He had a row of buttons, and those row of buttons all represented how smart he was because he was smart enough to understand that someone was smarter than he was. That's brilliant, folks. But that's you. That's all of us entrepreneurs. Until you figure out what you're good at and focus your time and energy on that, you will just be like a blender with its top off. You'll be running around doing this, that, and other things. I mean, how many of you, let me just ask a question. How many of you still mow your lawn? How many of you are still out there doing your landscaping? How many of you are out there doing all the minutia because, well, you can, and because you don't want to pay somebody to do it? Now let's just assume that mowing your lawn takes you an hour. Where could you have spent that hour that would have been more valuable? Could you have spent that with your children, playing with them? Could you have spent that focusing on sales calls where you could have made a whole bunch of money? But because you could mow your lawn, and because you didn't want to pay somebody the $20 or $30 to mow the lawn, you gave up what? Time with your family? Thousands of dollars you could have made on those sales calls during that hour? Sometimes we prioritize things the wrong way. Sometimes it's perception that you need to focus on. For me, and for most of you, you should find the things that you're good at and focus your time on them. Outsourcing is a phenomenal tool for any business owner. It allows you to tap into a vast pool of specialized experts that might not exist in-house. More than that, it's a lever that allows you to scale your business. With outsourcing, what you can do is you can ramp up your operations in an efficient manner by quickly adapting to changing needs in the business without long-term commitments from permanent staff. I mean, I can just go right on here and I can find a virtual assistant that can do work that my staff may not want to do. Platforms such as Upwork and Fiverr have revolutionized the way we do business. I use them all the time, and you should too. They give us access to a global talent pool of freelancers, each with their own unique skill sets and expertise. Whether you need designers, developers, writers, copywriters, marketing gurus, people to build funnels, sales calls, sales setters, you're likely going to find one of these folks on the platforms, which opens up a wealth of possibilities and flexibility for your business, especially when you're in a growth phase. While outsourcing provides flexibility and access to a diverse set of skills, I don't want you to forget about that internal team because it's just as important. An in-house team fosters loyalty and culture and continuity, which is vital for sustained growth. When you build your team and that team works together day in and day out, you're creating an environment for mutual growth, both for the individuals and the business. Let me just pause and tell you a little bit about what I've done. You see, culture is really important. So with my internal team and even my external team, my virtual assistants, because we count them just like an internal team, one of the things I want my team to understand is where the company's going and what's in it for them. Not just financially. A lot of people think, oh, you just got to pay your staff more and they work harder. That's wrong. You got to have your team, your staff, believe in the mission. You have to have them believe in the journey that you're on and in the end result. If the end result isn't focused on solving somebody else's problem, you're failing yourself and your business will fail. Because every single successful business I've ever seen focuses on one solitary thing. That is solving somebody else's problem. The bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. But if your team doesn't understand what that problem is that they solve, and it doesn't understand what the results are, which comes in the form of testimonials and clients telling you how you've changed their life, then your team is just showing up from 9 to 5 to punch a clock and get a paycheck. And that is not the team you want. You need to build a culture. You need to build a team that believes in what it is you dreamt up many years ago. That dream needs to burn not just in you, but it needs to burn in your team as well. So you started your business because you had a dream, right? And that dream burns inside of you. But why should it stay within you? You need to share that dream, that vision with your team. And you need to get your team to believe in that same dream. But you see, getting them to believe in it means they need to be tied to it some way. Which is another reason why I hate it when businesses just make people believe in an hourly paycheck, trading hours for dollars, because no one is going to work to their full capacity when they're just trading an hour for $1. I can't stress enough how much I appreciate the team that I've created. Each member brings their unique skill set, their energy, and their commitment. That all lands to one thing: creativity. They bring the creativity to the table. They're not just employees. They're the heartbeat of the operation. Their efforts, their dedication, their relentless pursuit of our shared goals are what make this business a success. From the bottom of my heart, I thank each and every single one of them for their contribution. Time. This is the whole reason why we delegate. By delegating tasks, what we're doing is creating more space and more time for ourselves outside of work. We're not just business owners or entrepreneurs, we're also family members, friends, hobbyists, and human beings. We need to have that time to enjoy the fruits of our labor so that we can rejuvenate, so that we can have a clear mind, body, and soul. Delegation allows us to fulfill this without compromising our business. I absolutely can speak on that. I do not spend enough time doing the things that I love, but I've been changing that. To me, being successful isn't just about financial wealth or professional recognition. It's about being able to fully be present for my family. It allows me to go skateboarding on Sundays. It allows me to go snowboarding and surfing when I want to. It allows me to have self-time to renew who I am. I mean, if I can't skateboard, snowboard, or surf, I really don't know why I get up every single day. You see, work-life balance isn't just a trendy concept. It's a crucial component of both professional success and personal fulfillment. Delegation is a vital tool for achieving that balance. It empowers us to focus on the high-impact activities, the things that we can do to move the needle. And it allows us to be strategic in our planning of our professional lives while still allowing us the time for personal growth and enjoyment. I know money plays into this, which is why that's what I teach. Because if you don't have the money to fulfill on the things that you want to do, well, that's another problem. But that's another problem for another video. Now, there might be some of you who are watching this right now that refuse to build a team because either they want all of the money for themselves, they're too cheap to spend money on staff or VAs, or they just don't think they have enough to do it. You seriously got to change your mindset. You got to break that limited mindset. Now, once you break down this limited mindset, and once you start understanding that money is nothing more than a tool, it's not your lifestyle, it's not who you are, that's when you're going to unlock some of the biggest secrets of the wealthy. Now, maybe you're scared of failure. Who isn't? Maybe you're scared of failing somebody else. Some of you might not know how to train people, or you struggle with communicating what your vision is. If this is you, I encourage you to take the baby steps that are necessary. Get out of your comfort zone. Challenge yourself. Do the things that no one else wants to do. Invest in yourself and learn the leadership skills. There's plenty of coaches and mentorships for this. So here's a great place to practice and a great place to start, and that's a virtual assistant. First off, they're affordable, and they're going to provide you with the experience of leading somebody without the pressures of all the costs, the attachment, and the time. So I have a couple websites down below right now that you can check out and you can get started. I can't stress enough the power of delegation and team building. As we journey through entrepreneurship, it's essential to remember that we can't do it all. And we don't have to. That's the beauty of it. If you embrace delegation, you take the first step in building your dream team, well, then your business, your wealth, and your personal life will thank you now, because you don't have to wait for it. By properly delegating tasks, you're setting the stage for a breakthrough in productivity, scalability, and the much needed work-life balance that we always talk about. The wealth of your business isn't just about the financial numbers. It's also about the wealth that you get from time and the freedom you will get that comes along with a well-structured and efficient organization. So what are you waiting for? Don't wait for someday. The best time to start building your dream team is right freaking now. Identify the roles and the responsibilities that can be delegated. Start with the things you don't like to do. Match those tasks with the individuals who possess the right skills and the strengths. Take action and see how your business transforms. I know it's going to be tough. It was hard for me too. But I want to hear from you. Let's make this a conversation. So right now, share your comments below, your questions, and also share your experience with delegation and building a team. I want to know how you've done it and what your wins have been. So if you're finding value in this, then make sure you hit that like button. Not only that, click that little subscribe button, and don't forget, smash the notification bell so that you never miss an update. I'm always sharing my strategies, my tips on how you can build your wealth and live the life that you've always dreamed of. To further empower your wealth building journey, let me recommend that you watch this video right here. You don't want to miss this one. How the wealthy use whole life insurance. See you on the next one.